What's up, amazing people? Welcome to SPM Buzz. Today we are spending the day with the legendary Habida. For the Gen Zs, if you don't know who Habida is, let's see. Hapo mtaweka wimbo. Karibuni.
Asante sana. How are you?
Good,
Are
thank
you well?
you.
You look lovely, my
Thank you
gosh.
so much. Hi.
How are you?
Hi.
Good to see you.
Karibuni sana. Huku ndo kwetu.
Nimeona.
Eh? Thank you. The ambience is ambiancing. Asante sana. Karibuni.
Asante.
I was telling Gen Zs, if they don't know who Habida is, we have to put the music there. Sule, make sure to put the music so that
Yes,
they can
put the
see.
music.
But the millennials already know who this is. Karibuni sana.
Asante.
Habida, where have you been?
Where have you been?
It's been a long time before we saw you. All right, guys. So right here with me is the MTV Award winner. When did you win this award, by the way?
I won the award, I think it was 2010.
Uh-huh.
My first single in Nairobi or Kenya.
Oh, yeah. And how long had you been doing music before then?
I started when I was, I'd been doing music about 15 years that time.
What?
I know, right?
At what? For 15 years at that time, in 2010. At what age did you start doing music?
About 16.
16.
I had moved to the UK and I was working with a producer from BMG. So, and then I went to the US and then I moved back to Kenya. So I did my degree in the US, then I came back to Kenya.
Did you feel like being in the US gave you like a jump start of your music career, especially at the time? Or did you have to like start afresh when you came back here?
You know, it's like you said when we were talking offline. When you're younger, you don't care about starting, stopping. So with the music, you know, music takes so much from you. I had started and stopped, I don't know how many times. By that time, between 16 and I don't know what, 28 is when I moved back here.
Okay, so now let's talk about where you've been, Habida, because yes, I've seen you in a few interviews here and there, but it felt like, you know, this music thing, you are still...
It's a hobby.
It's
I'm
like
so
a
sick of
hobby.
that story.
It's like you really don't want to do it, but because it's in you sort of want to give us a few songs here and there. Where have you been and what's going on?
So two things. I'm a mom.
Yes.
So that's my first job. Nothing comes before that. And I know, like, even when I released Sunshine, I didn't have my baby. But you know, you get your baby, everyone then waits as a woman and says, oh my God, let's see if she's going to fall off.
Okay.
So there's also that apprehension from the industry, right? I didn't stop because after I had my baby, I had what? My Reason, Care Show, Get Down, all these things. So it's not a hobby. Two, I travel a lot because at the time, for my husband's work, it was like we're in South Africa, we're in Oman, we're in London, we're in whatever. So in essence, I would start all over in these countries, but industry is the same.
Okay.
And luckily, I had Kenya's Sunshine and all the music that came out of here to go with me. So Kenya is the one that doesn't see me because the rest of the world lives online.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know, Kenyans are out of sight, out of mind.
Yes.
So what I would do is come back in when I had a new song and I would, you know, do the interviews you're talking about, maybe a show here and there. And then I go back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why the music is so diverse.
Yeah. Okay. So what are you able to apply here when it comes to music, especially music distribution in terms of your branding as an artist? What are you able to apply out here that you apply outside there, or more or less what you've learned?
What have I learned here and I take out there?
Or rather, what you've learned out there you apply here in your branding when it comes to you being an artist?
So I'll say this. I applied what I have from here.
Okay.
Because Kenya, you have to hustle. If that's what you see when Kenyans leave this country, when you're out there, you are so successful.
They thrive.
They thrive because it's hard here. You know, here you're your own managers, do you labels, do you what?
Yeah.
Producers, sometimes social medias, do you who. When you go out there, you're an artist.
Okay.
I remember when I was signed to Warner Brothers, and they said I used to call the guy and say, "Hey, so I'm bored. What are we doing?" He's like, "Habida, can you just learn to be an artist?"
Wow. Do your thing.
Yeah, he's like, "See, you go to what do you do? Find something." He said, "All I need you is at rehearsal on Friday.
Yes.
The show is on Saturday night. I need you at this. We have a PR." I'm like, "Guy, I only have 3 things to do today."
Yeah.
Whether you sit with yourself, okay, you even go to the supermarket more than you need to.
Yes.
You know, and that time I only had one daughter. So when she goes to school, you're looking at yourself. You go to the gym. So, you know, Kenya makes tough.
Women.
I don't know about men, but women.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, you've mentioned the Warner Brothers and in matters management, and clearly it's something that was different for you from what you were expecting. Do you think in Kenya, at what level of management are we in, especially when you compare to that?
I mean, in my day, the management and whatever was just agency. It was your producer. So RK was like my manager, my whatever, my producer,
Music
my
distributor.
everything. You know, now I feel it's changed. Obviously, I've just come back. And actually, I met someone yesterday. Let's see. I'll answer that question once I get back. I'm looking for management at the moment. So I've reached a place I can't manage myself anymore.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'll let you know.
Let's see.
Yeah.
It looks like you have quite some big plans for your brand. Can we call this like an official comeback now, especially in the Kenyan market, or are you still going to be coming back? We see you once in a while. What's the plan?
So, I mean, I'm not going to use the word comeback because I never left. I never went anywhere. You know, when I have my reality, and I guess the audience has theirs. Maybe come back for Kenya. I think it's maybe a reinventing because I'm totally different at the moment.
Okay.
And I'm actually sitting down now with the producer. I want to sit with management. I want to sit with and look at the brand again. I know what the audience is looking for. I hear them on social media all the time telling me they want, they are my reason chick back.
Okay.
But I hope that we'll be able to evolve together. But we have to evolve. We can't stay the same.
We have to. Do you have any collaborations, especially with the new age artists that you've planned or you're thinking about doing?
So I just did a track yesterday, actually.
Okay.
So we're looking at who would fit in the song at the moment. There are a few people we're thinking of, and they're new age. Hey,
are you ready to mapangale and anguka nayo?
So this is the thing. So this is the thing. I was learning words yesterday.
Okay.
So me, my words are kidogo millennial. So I heard we've moved from. Okay, so yesterday I learned yay. Yay. No, it's not yes.
It's not yes. It's yay.
And
para.
Eh?
Yeah, nowadays they say para.
Oh, you see that behind. And then there's another one. Gosh, what was it? I'm working with Big West. He was like, "I'll teach you a word every time you come."
Oh yeah.
So the word was what? What was the word?
Request. I need to do a better job. She has forgotten.
Oh my gosh, what was it? Nimesahau.
Itabidi tutakumbuka tu as we go on. Yeah. So let's talk about your new venture. It's not really new, it's been there. Your accessories line or collection, what you're wearing today, looking so different, so unique and gorgeous.
Thank you.
What was the inspiration behind this? And tell us more about it.
So I sat with myself, and now you get older and you think, what can I do that can span from the music?
Yeah.
And we decided a fashion. I've always wanted a fashion line. So what, now also you plan and God plans.
Yes.
So what God had planned, the first part of the fashion will be jewelry, clearly. And at the time, I was working on, at the same time, I was working on Zari. So, I'm on set, guys are saying, hey, Habida, what's wrong with your voice? And I sound like, I'm like, hold on. And then I thought, I have a bad habit of smoking when I'm acting.
Okay.
So it's funny. It's like, actors and musicians have rituals,
Yeah. Something
So-
you perform before,
Yeah. So my ritual is when I'm on set, I usually have 1 or 2, 3 cigarettes. So I said, maybe it's the cigarette. I said, let me achana now. So I left it. Then still, and it's getting worse. So I said, let me check. So I went to the doctors and I had a lump on my vocal cord. So I'm like, oh, interesting. You know the way you're used to checking, then they tell you, it's nothing, acidity is doing any. So I have really bad acidity as well. So it's something that's caused from acidity and overuse of the voice.
Yeah.
I said, okay. Solution, surgery.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. So now I sat with myself for a bit, got time off from Zari, and I fly to India. Because there's this woman who works with only vocal cords and people who work with their voices. So I said, yeah,
You want the best.
Yeah, because if anything goes wrong, my acting is gone, my singing is gone. It says, he said, okay, let me do presenting. Basically, I'm looking for a new career in life, in general.
Oh my God.
So I said, okay. So that went well. Now I'm in that stage of, you've done surgery, you can't talk.
Yeah.
So I meet these guys and I'm with my business partner and they have a conversation. Obviously, I can't say anything. I'm sitting there like this.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I'm invited to this pop-up. We go, we meet these people. There's jewelry, there's fashion, there's whatever. India is big. So I said, okay. I looked at her jewelry. I was like, wow. And something happened. And you can't talk.
Yeah.
There's something in silence.
So
I can't talk. And I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
So then I said, can I, those ones of...
Oh, at this point now you're using, notes.
I was walking around with a pad and pen. So I wrote, can I get your information?
Yes.
Do you do this for other people? Blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, me and her are like best friends.
Yeah.
And she's lovely, she's so sweet. She waited for me to get better, She would call and say, are you okay? I've never met anybody so sweet.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, even the working relationship is nice. So this basically is born out of silence. And it's something that speaks. I feel like jewelry speaks without you talking. So it gave me a voice and something to do without talking. So it's like wearing my story.
Okay.
My story was I nearly lost my whole bread and butter.
Career, and
you have kids, kuna school fees, kuna rent, and you're looking at your life is just about to finish.
Yeah.
And then here comes this savior, and this is literally me wearing my story.
Oh wow, this is very inspirational.
So I thought women don't wear their stories enough. And me, I'm that chick who has always said, girl, I have this issue, my stretch marks, my, because I feel like the more we communicate as women what we're going through, the more solutions will come and support, because women, Kenyan women especially, we don't support each other enough.
Yeah.
But I think if you're loud enough, there'll be those within the cracks that will find you.
Yeah.
And you create a community somehow.
Oh my God, I have so many questions. Unajua hii story umeipiga tu. It's just like, I went surgery, my voice, this was born out of, silence. It feels like it's just something you woke up and did, but I can bet it was not an easy journey, even for you to make sure that you have all these pieces ready. So how many, do you have different categories of these pieces? And what's the name? You haven't told us the name because it's so beautiful as well.
So I sat with the name. So what got me through is obviously verses. So the idea is you have verses from whichever Bible you read.
Okay.
Quran,
From whatever holy book.
whatever holy book, exactly.
Yes.
In fact, you've given me the way to put it.
Yes.
Verses from holy books.
Yes.
And I'm a musician.
A
What
creative.
what I nearly lost was my verses.
Okay.
So it's born from song and words from holy books.
So how many categories of this?
So we
do
have
you
rings, bracelets, and neck pieces and earrings.
So are they available? Are they on do you have a
Versus
physical show?
.ke.
Uh-huh.
And at the moment we're working on like I don't want a store just yet.
Okay.
Because I'm a very practical person. I don't want to spend money before I'm making money.
Yes.
So, and you know now with the economy, we're just waiting.
We are just waiting to see how this goes.
We're not going to be
You can't
silly.
make decisions just like that.
So, we have a lot of receptive, positive reception on the style
Yeah.
and the story, and then
I love them. You said verses.co.ke. That's where we find them.
That's where we find them.
Pre-order or they're just available?
They're available.
Ah, okay. That is so nice.
So I'm growing the brand. We have about 15 pieces at the moment of different. But I'm,
It's growing gradually as you go. That is so beautiful. Do you think you can make money as an artist just from music alone, or do you have to?
No. Well, yes, if you're smart, and like we said, have the right management, have the the ability to focus.
Yeah.
I think.
But do you really know someone who doesn't do anything else? They just survive on music? I'm not sure.
But no one. You see, this is the mistake we make here.
Yeah.
Working outside, I have the privilege to see every artist. I mean, even if we look at Beyonce, how many brands does she have? Rihanna, how many brands does she have? And they make money from all these things. So music is almost like a business card.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you going to wear Rihanna's brand? Because of her music.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's the best business card.
You can never have.
Yeah. Don't stop at music, because music is a communication of other things, I think.
For sure. Let's talk about motherhood, because you've given us a few snippets here and here. It was just the other day, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. We see that your baby celebrated you. How has motherhood changed you, especially as a public figure and as a woman, for someone who's been out there already, even before you became a mother?
So I'm unapologetic.
Okay.
I will say what I want. I will do what I want. And I don't have much. If someone doesn't understand me, I don't have much time to explain.
Yeah.
Right? That's changed 100%.
Oh, really?
Especially when my daughter became a teenager.
Uh-huh.
I'll give you an example. So I'm in a show called Foreplay on Showmax.
Okay.
Very sexual show, right? Very adult. So there was this one scene where I had a sex scene, and it was quite elaborate itself. And my boob popped.
Uh-huh.
So we sat with it, and we said, obviously the director's like, what? Can we leave this in? And the way there are those things, it could make you, whatever, those stories.
Yeah.
So I went home.
Yeah.
Usually I'd have been like, yeah. I mean, if I didn't have children, just put the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll continue.
Uh-huh.
But then my daughter said, what happened? Tana, my son, who's 8, he said, Mommy, no.
No.
Almost like those are mine.
Yes.
And you have to think about it. My daughter said, Mama, I'm going to school.
Yeah.
What will the mom say? I don't care what the mom say, but for her, it's important. Okay. So I went back and I said, Ebutoa your story.
Yeah.
Yeah, funga it. And then now all that's left is the actual what was directed. So it's changed me completely. I'm not as unapologetic as I used to be.
Oh, wow. That is different. What are some of the values that you'd like to instill in your children? And I would love you to tell us for the girl and for the boy, because raising kids, also just gender, it's different for both boys and girls. What is that one value you feel it's important to instill in your girl and in your boy?
Okay, 100% it's different.
Yeah.
I've noticed. And you know, now as parents, we don't know everything. We learn as you go. So with my daughter, I'm pushing her to be confident,
Okay.
to be herself. If I think about, let me think about it. With her, you have to be a lot. Okay, what happens naturally is I'm tougher. I find I'm tougher on her.
With a girl?
With the girl. With my son, I'm softer, but then he is younger. But with him, I'm teaching him how to deal with women.
Okay.
You know, like even now, my daughter has started certain things in her life.
Yeah.
So now I explain each other to both of them. So what I want most, I have a blessing of having girl and boy.
Yeah.
I am forcing them to understand each other.
Yes.
Because I realize we're out in this world not understanding each other.
We don't.
It's
Trust
like a
me.
joke. It's like God is like, okay, I'll put you two. You'll be very different. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, come on. Are you serious? We're so different. Yeah, so with her, I push a lot of confidence. What I realize, boys come out with it.
Okay.
Boys come out of the womb with confidence.
Ah.
They have a certain entitlement that comes naturally.
Okay.
Girls have more of a sitting back, which I don't allow. So, you know, we'll be in a restaurant and my daughter will say, Mama, ask water for me. I'm like, ask yourself.
Yeah.
And she'll say, no, Mama, just ask. Then my son will be like, excuse me. I didn't teach any of them any of that.
Okay.
So wherever I see something low, I push up. Whenever I see something too much, I push
Breaking down kiddo.
Just so there's a balance.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've answered the
That's
question.
important. Yeah, you have. Very important. I mean, I'm currently mentoring teenagers on finding confidence and discovering their purpose. So I've been dealing with them, and you can tell parents are just complaining, they're not listening. But sometimes maybe we're also just not listening to them.
No, I disagree with that. They're not listening. We as parents are the ones to listen. Because when I listen to my daughter, I understand what, like now she's having tantrums.
Yeah.
And instead of going, "Kwani wewe ni nini?"
Yes.
I go in and I say, okay, let me know.
What's going on?
What's the issue? Like, is there something we need to deal with? And then if she doesn't want to talk, I wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's only when now we have the elaborate rudeness that I'm like, okay, we don't do that.
That's not workable.
But I think we need to understand more. They have so much wisdom, these kids.
Yeah.
And I was watching this show last night. When you watch, they're putting these things online now and showing what kids go through. We send them to school. We don't understand the pressure.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like they're going through their own things as well. We're here as custodians to take care. Not to just be like, ugh. That's why us, our generation is so messed up. I think we don't know if we're coming or going. You know,
Because we never used to have a voice, you know.
Yeah, just kuchapwa tu is the
Kuchapwa tu.
answer, alafu unakaa tu kimya na shida zako.
And that was bad because we were not even able to create boundaries.
Yeah.
We were never able to say no. So now you have to unlearn as a grown-up. Those are things I said, you know, I have to do better when it comes to my kids.
Unlearning is such a hard process.
And you know, when you interact with these teenagers, actually, you find like the parents, they probably need more mentorship than even the kids.
100%.
Yeah.
And then what we do, so I think everyone should be in therapy. In one of my therapy sessions, she said, Habida, stop talking to your kids about your problems. You know, as we come home, stop talking about your kids. To your kids. It's not their problem. First of all, they go in and they have their own, then they carry yours in the room with them when they're going to sleep, and you wonder why the child can't sleep. Anxiety, Nini.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, all they need to think about is their exams and what they're going to wear tomorrow because their friend has this thing and then they don't have. Or, you know, it's enough.
We can do better.
We need to.
We need to. Now, when it comes to social media regulation, because it's really something quite a big deal, especially right now. You're bringing up, do you have a Gen Z or Gen Alpha?
Oh my God.
Are they Gen Alpha?
CG?
I think ni Gen
14
Alpha.
and 8. What is that?
I think Gen Alpha. Yeah, that's Gen Alpha. That's not Gen Z. I think that's Gen Alpha. So those ones are the digital natives. So social media sijui unafanyaje. How do you work through this? Because even if they go to school, they'll still interact with other kids who are even consuming more information. How do you
So
go
I'm
about
lucky. I'll say I'm very lucky. With my daughter, what I did is I didn't allow certain social medias. Like Snapchat, I didn't allow. I can't remember why. So she has Instagram, a little bit of Snapchat. But then what I do is I pick her phone, but I let her know.
it? Okay.
So she knows I can go in at any time.
Yes, it's not like you're getting into
I
her
don't do that
privacy.
because I don't agree with it. Yeah. So I say, give me your phone. Especially I listen what's happening. You know, sometimes she'll come out and say, oh my God, this happened. I'm like, let me take the phone. So she's allowed social media to a certain extent. She's 14. That's a different age. Huyo wa 8 hata asitaki kusikia. No Instagram, no. In fact, YouTube.
Yes.
I don't allow.
Yeah.
He has the kids one, and even in the kids one, there's still a lot of sexual content.
Yes.
So his is monitored, you know, and he's a gamer. So him is not really social media. He's a guy for my fortnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel any pressure, especially for you, the teenage girl, just being out there, going out there, interacting with boys? Do you ever feel?
Did I tell you I'm lucky?
Yes.
She has no time.
Oh, yeah?
None. She's like, Mama, your life is too hectic for me.
Okay.
So she's like, I don't want anything to do with that life. I'm like, okay. So even with her reaction towards what I do,
Yes.
even though she can sing, she has a model's body, she's ningekuwa nimelipa bills mingi, but it's okay. She doesn't want. She's very focused. She wants to be an architect. She's, you know, I have no issues.
Yeah.
She comes home. If she goes out, it's like a friend's house and I'm with the mother. Who is there? Are there boys? Are you there?
Yeah.
Are you home?
Yes.
Are you like that?
Yeah.
So we're such a nini. So I'm lucky.
You're lucky.
I'm lucky.
You're lucky.
I don't have any child saying, "Ati, I want to go out to midnight." What? She's at home with me.
What if that changes?
I'll be with her.
Yeah.
It has to change.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to fight her. But I'm instilling. Do you know what happened in my life?
Yes.
You know, I've been raped before. I've a lot of sexual. I don't hide it.
Yeah.
I say this is what happened to me. This is why it happened to me.
Yeah.
This is who I was with. You can't trust it. So she knows.
Yeah.
She knows. Yeah.
How is her reaction when you talk to her about such sensitive things? Because, like, for instance, some of us grew up not having such conversations. How is her reaction?
So, you know, like I told you, I'm so unapologetic. And my mom had a sex conversation with me. The minute she saw me wanting... Me, I was out at 14.
Oh, yeah.
In our day, that was the age. Yeah? So, she cried about it. And she was very sad.
Okay.
And I think it impacted her. So, she's with it. And you know, now I've been an expert, and it was her, me and her.
Yeah.
So we used to talk a lot, and she's smart. She's smart.
Wow. I am now tempted to ask because, especially with the rise of, you know, femicide issues, gender-based violence issues, and all that, and there's also the blame aspect of, you know, why did you dress up like that? This is the reason as to why this happened to you. And then the women are like, no, that is justification of this act of rape. How do you see this? Because there's a lot of blame game. And as someone would say, probably you've been in such a situation, how would you see this whole situation?
Okay, I'll say I didn't do anything for him to do what he did.
Yeah.
He made his decision up. I mean, he was a friend. So he told me, I'll get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think situations are different. That's a different type of abuse than femicide. Is it? I think we both have a responsibility, which is what I tell my daughter. I say, number one, I think alcohol has a lot to play.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're an easier target.
Yeah.
So there's certain things women can do to protect themselves. I think even as women, we have instincts. This is not a safe place.
Yeah.
This is not a safe friend. Yeah, but sometimes I know we want to just jiachilia. But there's consequences.
There is.
Number one. Two, you have no right. No right to touch me at all. Right? And I don't think any conversation is wrong, any conversation is right. I think you can wear what you want, but it makes you vulnerable. So you make the decision, right? If he chooses to abuse someone who has, okay, let me give you an example.
Okay.
There's men who can't control themselves.
Yeah.
This is what they are. This is how they are designed to not have boundaries, right? And then you are there without with Ile. I'm wearing what I want.
Carefree.
Yeah. Then that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
So who's to blame? He is to blame 100% because you're supposed to have freedom of expression, which is what I believe. But then I think as a woman, you have to protect yourself regardless. We are, how do I say, we are a more vulnerable part of the species, the human species. So, you take care of yourself.
For sure.
Right? And now, especially if you hear people are femiciding all over the place, so
Ujipange too.
yeah, I don't know, buy guns. I don't know what the Americans would
Pepper
do.
spray.
That's what the Americans would do, so that the man knows. In America, in the US, I remember living in where I went to school. It was a state that said you have to carry a gun. So no one knew who had a gun because everyone is allowed to carry. So that deters.
Yeah.
So now, do you go that way? Or how do you protect yourself? Since we're not living in the US, we're in Kenya.
Yeah.
And then as a woman in Kenya, you are lesser human.
Yeah.
It's also imperative for the woman to now think twice about what she does.
How do I survive?
It's protection. It's like we're in the wild. What does the vulnerable animal do? It protects itself. It doesn't go out of its boundaries. It doesn't I know. It's the reality of life. We can't just, as women, just be like, yeah, yes, it's our right, yes. But no one is respecting it at the moment. So what do?
Yeah.
You protect yourself. And for the men, I think they just need to stop it.
Yeah.
And there needs to be more, like in the US, there needs to be more, like someone has to go, like the repercussions of what they do
should be
more
bigger.
severe.
Exactly.
Then there's a deterrent here and the woman is protecting herself more. So we're better off. In Dubai, I lived in Dubai for a while. Oman.
Yeah.
And I met this woman, and the men, we were sitting in a restaurant, and she removed her hijab because it was like a private whatever. I can't remember why. And there was the Muindi workers.
Yes.
Was looking. And she was like, oh my God, how disgusting. I said, listen, that guy has been here.
Yeah.
I think both parties have to be understood. That guy has been here without his wife. He has no outlet. Sexuality is something, as Africans we are so but it's natural. God made us like this.
Yeah.
We have sex.
Yes.
So that guy, he's nini. Am I allowed to say he's horny?
Yeah.
Now here you are, he's seeing hair for the first time because he lives in an Arab country where kuna fungwa kila saa. He's going to look.
Yeah.
You get what
He
I'm
will.
saying?
Yeah.
So the people who abuse, I don't know what's their issue, but there's always an underlying issue.
Yeah.
So I think, it's one of those things where
It's just so unfortunate.
It has to be solved on both ends.
Yeah, it has to. It has to. It's both our responsibility, for sure. Wow. Habida.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It was also just a very deep, sort of conversation. And even where you are coming from with it, it's totally making sense. Thank you, Habida. What are we expecting from you? Is there any song that is dropping, a music video?
So there's a lot of new music at the moment. So, guys, go to my YouTube, The Real Habida.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, follow us on social media. You know, I was hacked. Building in this new society is not easy.
Oh God,
Yeah. So and I have a skincare line that's coming shortly. You know, like guys keep saying, "Oh my God, Habida,
your
what do you use?"
skin, I know.
I make my own skin.
So, are you promising to actually give us whatever you've been using, your skin remedy?
I'll be honest and say it's something. You know, there's this new thing that has come out where people are formulating. Right. So I formulate. Now I'm trying to do from formulation to says now I'm just selling to people who know.
Yes.
You know. And but now we're scaling up. Once we scale up, yes.
So this is what has been keeping you looking this young, because I don't know, as far as I have known you, and I can say that I've known you for more than a decade, you've been looking like this.
Okay, my skin, you know, with makeup, even you know, yeah, your skin just sometimes in a choker with all the makeup and stuff. So I had to come with something. I came with something.
Yeah.
And then because nothing was working. None of these expensive, you pay a lot, you pay a little, nothing was working.
No effect.
So with my body, I just work out a lot. Even on the way here, actually, waking up this morning was hard. You know, I work out a lot. I drink a lot of water. I don't eat crap just now and again. I do have a sweet tooth, so I allow myself.
Yes, you allow yourself.
Small pleasures.
Yes. Okay. Sounds good, guys. In case you wanted some, beauty hack or beauty tip, there you go, as we wait for his, her skin care.
Habida's Naturals.
Habida's Naturals. Okay, I love me some natural products. I hope you're going to send something my way once you're done.
You know what?
Yes.
I'll send you something.
Please do. Please do.
I'll do it.
All right, Habida. Some final words for your fans as we wind up? Waongeleshe.
You know what? I think after all these years, I want to say thank you for those who are still with me. Because even my social media guys say, "Hey, Habida, you have some diehards." And I'm just so grateful because, you know, in this day and age, there's not much that stays the same.
Yes.
So I'm grateful. There's a lot of new music coming, a lot of products, the jewelry line versus the Habida's Naturals, but mainly I want to start working on, like what you said, empowering women. So we'll be doing a podcast. We'll be doing now. You know, when I find more hours in the day, nitaanza hiyo maneno, but it's going to come. I'll sleep. I think for 3 hours.
Yes.
But yeah, my passion is empowering young women and women like ourselves to, you know, like we said, when we get older, we forget that we lose our mojo. I don't know where it goes. Our guts, our glory, whatever. And the fight is harder.
Yeah.
So I want to speak to younger women and women like us who. So that's my next. That one is coming.
Yeah. All right, Habida. If God has placed it in your heart, then He's definitely going to also make sure He brings the people that are going to make that dream possible.
Oh, that's nice. Amen.
All the best. We can't wait to see what you do.
Thank you.
All right, guys. That was it from the legendary Habida herself. I hope you've had a good time and just enjoyed this conversation. Make sure to share, tell people Habida is here to listen her story. The very first time, I'm sure she has spoken about so many things on this interview. So thank you so much for watching. My good name is Miss Kithinji. Until next time, keep it SPM Buzz.
SPM Buzz.